Hi families, this is Miss Gildard. I wanted to give you a little preview of what our course will look like when it opens up on Tuesday. When students click on the MyLearning app in My Pasco Connect, they will be taken here and you'll want to go to all courses, and what you're going to search for is this course, Grade 2, Cypress Elementary School 0701-1920. Click on that, and this is what you're going to see. I'm going to put mine in student view for you. So this is what students will see when they sign in every day. This is the home page for our MyLearning second grade distance learning. And you have a couple of things here. When you sign on, you have schedule, learn, help, and a for parents section. I highly recommend you take a look at the for parents section and the schedule before students start completing their work. There's some helpful information there for you. But this blue rocket ship that says learn is what students will click on to actually start doing their coursework every day. Also, if you scroll down, there will always be this week at a glance. The district will update this at the beginning of every week. And just to give you an overview of what students will be doing in the week and how it's suggested that they pace it out. Now, when you go into the modules, they show you everything for the whole week. So this is the suggestion for how much of that content students should complete every day. So we're going to go and click on Learn. And when you first sign in, there's going to be a couple of things here. Now, if you watched the YouTube video I linked on Class Dojo, the teacher on that talked about how these top sections are not for students. However, this is very helpful information if you're not familiar with this MyLearning program that we're using. Everything here under introduction about how to find your course, digital resources, and then especially this section here, how students take a quiz, how they submit assignments, and how to participate in a discussion. That's all going to be really helpful for you as the parent. This how-to section, actually, I think parents and students should look at together. After you've done that, you can actually click on the little triangle next to each one of these to collapse the section so that every time your student logs in, they don't have these in their way and it takes them right to the modules. Also, at the end of every week, when your student has completed their work for that week, they can collapse that week as well. So as you see, I'm on the student view section. I can only see the work that's required from week 1. Week 2 will open the following Monday. So here is a pacing guide, and then here's where we get into the actual content. We have science, math, ELA, which is a combination of reading and writing tasks. Reading, which is the independent reading. Students can read books that they have around the house, or they can specifically read on the early level they were at when they left the school by going on to the bookshelf app through My Pasco Connect. Social studies, physical education, music, and arts. So I'm going to go ahead and click on math first because the math looks a little different than everything else. So when I click on math, you're going to use the bottom buttons here, the next and the previous, to navigate through. Some of the lessons are combined. So for example, in this week, they combine lesson 1 and 2 together. And then you'll have things to do like watch a video. There might be text to read, but I know in math there's a lot of video lessons. These were not created by teachers from Cypress. This is from the Pasco eSchool courses that they already had for the district. So that's why you're gonna hear other teachers other than myself or any of the other Cypress teachers. Often it talks about using a dry erase board. If you have one of those at home, those are great because the kids can obviously erase and reuse over and over again. You can usually find inexpensive dry erase boards places like the Dollar Tree and Walmart. However, I know getting out to those places is not exactly ideal in our situation right now. So I suggest just using a paper and pencil if you don't have access to a dry erase board at home. Students can also use a notebook so that they'll have all of their math stuff in one place as well. So students will watch the video and then click next. And then they'll have a link to the problem set. Now, if your child did bring their math book home the last day before spring break, then they can complete in their math book like it says here. If not, they give you a link to the problem set in every lesson. And if you have a printer at home, you can print off those pages and the students can complete it that way as well. And then they'll click next. Oh, sorry. This actually takes you to the next lesson. So I actually want to address that. I suggest either writing down or printing out the week at a glance that's back on the home page for the week so that students know what lesson they're supposed to stop at. So for example, lessons 1 and 2 are all they're supposed to do on Tuesday. If they continue through like I just did and click on next, it's going to take them through all of the math lessons before they realize like, whoa, I did way more work than I was supposed to do. So that's something good to have next to students where they're working so they know where they're supposed to stop. So back here, this is actually where you'll submit the assignment. And it's going to take you to a place like this. Now, if you printed out the problem set and students worked on it on paper, or if they did it in their math book that they brought home, you can take a picture of it and then upload that file here. There's also a place for text entry where students can just type in the answers that they put. Some lessons work better for that than others. And this is going to just be a learning curve from all of us. None of us here at Cypress have ever fully taught online before either, so we understand. But this is where they'll submit assignments. Now I'm gonna actually go back here. When you're in one of the contents like science, math, ELA, in order to get back to the modules, students are gonna wanna scroll back up to the top, and then they can either click on home or they can click on modules. Home will take them back to that first page where they will then click on the blue rocket ship that says learn. Modules will take them right back to their modules for the week, which is this. So I wanted to show you math because the math looks a little bit different. Now the other subject areas look like this. Here's the science. Science and ELA and social studies have a screen that looks like this because it's all a similar curriculum. So for this, students actually do not want to use a previous and next button at the bottom of the screen. They actually want to use the green arrows at the top. So up here, we have a left and a right. You don't really need to use the home button for this. And they're going to scroll through the content by using the left and right buttons rather than having a previous and next at the bottom. So I would scroll to the right to get to the next thing that I'm supposed to do. So how you know that you're finished with a particular lesson, which means you're finished with that content for the day, is at the bottom, you'll have something that says lesson wrap up. That lets you know that you're done with this page. And you're going to want to go back to modules and look at what's next. So we were in science. So I'm going to see that after this, I was supposed to go take the module pretest. Then after that, I'm supposed to click down here and go back to the science lesson itself. I hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing, but kids will probably pick it up after a few days of practice. So now we're in the science lesson. Notice that there's no lesson wrap up here. That means I'm supposed to go ahead and click on next to continue the lesson. And there's text to read and there's activities that it might have them dragging and dropping or sending them outside to find things around the house and the yard. Also, one thing I want to point out is that over here on the right, if you click on the play button, it will actually read the text to the students. So if you have a reader at home who's unable to read the text on the screen in the ELA, the science, and the social studies, click on the play button and it will actually read the text for them. So we have all of our subject areas here, and you also have announcements here. Those should pop up at the top of your home page, but if they don't, you might want to keep an eye on them. We do already have an announcement here that you'll be able to see when students log into the course for the first time on Tuesday. And then they'll have grades. I'm not going to click on that because there's nothing there yet, it's blank. But you and the student will be able to see their grades on assignments by clicking here as well. So if you have any questions, you can email me at cgildard@pasco.k12.fl.us. You can click on the help button either over here on the left side of the screen in the MyLearning or in the course itself by clicking here. You can post a discussion question or you can contact me through Dojo. And good luck to everybody. Be easy on yourselves. It's going to be confusing at first, but we will figure it out and get through it. Everybody stay safe and stay healthy, and I can't wait to see you online.